So there you go, a little history of Sywell Aerodrome. Now, taking off on runway 21, we have the beautiful Lockheed 12A Electra Junior. In from your left-hand side. So while this aircraft looks like an early transport passenger aircraft, indeed that's what it's fitted out for now, it does actually have a very clandestine history, this very aeroplane. It is in fact stated that this very aircraft was the UK's first aerial reconnaissance platform. It had fitted cameras which were revealed by moving a panel on the leading edge of the wing. So an Australian aviator called Sidney Cotton was tasked with working alongside the French to develop ways of using an aircraft to obtain covert intelligence over what was then developing Nazi Germany in the late 1930s. And Sidney fitted these cameras so that he could activate them with a press of a switch underneath his seat. And in fact, in 1939, he was flying this aircraft in Germany and did some tour flights with some of the Nazi high command. I think Kesselring might have been involved. And he actually had Kesselring in the right-hand seat of the aircraft, letting him fly it, and then Sidney Cotton would open the cameras and then start taking covert pictures using this aircraft. Beautiful topside. Cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just a beautiful aircraft, isn't it? And absolutely conforms to the looks right, probably is right rule. I mean, it's just... It's a thing of beauty.
And what Richard's team have done with the inside, the interior is just stunning, absolutely stunning. I was very lucky. I got to fly this time last year, flew from Sywell to Duxford in this aircraft. The pilot trusted me, which was probably quite worthy.
Well, it's another type you can chalk up in your logbook.
Absolutely, I did. Look at the top side down from the left.
So what's the thinking behind the twin rudder? Because it's obviously it's aped on a lot of other aircraft, not least Lancaster.
Well, what you might notice is that the rudder would sit. I just talked about it with Melanie's Extra actually. The rudder sits in that propeller disc. So by having the rudder behind each engine, you actually get more authority from the rudder.
So they're aligned to the engine.
Yeah, because of the slipstream, that would certainly help.
And why would that make a difference on a big four-engine bomber like the Lancaster?
A good question. In fact, there's a good shot of that rudder sitting behind the engines there as he runs in on the B-axis. If you think about surface area, so if you have two rudders of a certain size or two tail fins of a certain size, you would have to have one massive tail fin. So if you split them, you can get the same amount of effect, but have it over a smaller surface area, therefore a smaller fin.
Got it. Look at that in the sky there. Isn't that just...
Beautiful aeroplane. Now, this is a 12A, an Electra Junior. It was the Lockheed Electra that sadly Amelia Earhart was attempting a round the world flight in when she sadly disappeared. So that was a slightly bigger version of this aircraft you're watching now. Incredibly manoeuvrable for such a vintage aircraft.
Yep. Oh, it's shining, that boy.
what an incredibly exciting time it must have been in the 1930s when all these incredible planes were coming out. You think of B-17 in 1935. Just imagine seeing this for the first time, and you think, you know, just in a matter of a few short years, we've gone from a biplane era to a monoplane one. And think how futuristic and modern that must have seemed to a civilian on the ground looking up at that in 1936 when this first flew. It's easy to take these.